Did we agree that the mind is mysterious? How about the soul? With some people, its very existence is in dispute. Is the human soul a thing? If so, where exactly is it located? What exactly does it do? And does it continue to exist once bodily life comes to an end? In this lesson, you'll approach the topic much as 12-step groups approach the spiritual side of things. Anon groups speak of a higher power without tying that concept down to any kind of doctrine. We're going to be able to discuss the human soul with an openness based on the concepts and experiences we all share as human passengers on this spinning planet. What is the soul? It can't be found in human anatomy. There's no home, no substance, no real function that we can specify. The soul is defined as the immaterial essence of a human being. People of all cultures and creeds have agreed there's something in us that transcends the here and now. In general, we speak of the soul as that part of us that is eternal. We've talked about the mind and the body, thoughts and emotions, but these don't tell the whole story of who you are, do they? What is that thing within you that seeks meaning, that senses right and wrong, that looks to the infinite, that responds to nature, art, and music? And who's that inside you, that essential, authentic you, when you're alone and fully yourself? World religions have their own unique ways of explaining all of this. Philosophers continue to debate the questions we've raised. But for your purpose here, it's enough to recognize there's something unique and individual in you, something we identify as the soul. If that's true, then it's another part of you that needs attention as you seek to fulfill your purpose in life. But how exactly? How do you improve a soul? Reading philosophy? Doing good deeds? Religious affiliation? The soul is a powerful engine that gives power and resonance to your ideas, your energy, your depth of commitment. You have an intrinsic need to look at life and find within it meaning and significance. There needs to be something about you, something within you that you wouldn't trade even for all the world's wealth. And it's your essential selves. This, I believe. So where do you go from here? Plato said there's a rational, a spirited, and an appetite-driven way to behave. Those were the three ways he explained the soul. Each of us is rational, spiritual, and appetite-driven. If we're approaching the soul as the essence of who we are as individuals, then it must follow that we each have some blend of soulful characteristics that define us. What I want to suggest is that as we grow as people and discover who we're meant to be and what we're meant to do, we need to be self-aware. We must know ourselves, decide what we believe about life and the universe, and live in accordance with that. It's not enough to simply say, I don't care about anything but pursuing pleasure or the next paycheck. You're more than that. And to fulfill a meaningful purpose, you have to nurture the soul. From the perspective of Plato's ideas, you can make better, more rational decisions based on who you are. You can use your high spirits and emotional responses in the right areas, in accordance with your soul. And you can control your appetites, using them in positive ways, relating to food, sex, and other forms of pleasure in the understanding of what this life is all about. In all these ways, you deepen the soul. What can you do to pursue that growth? Let's examine 3 disciplines that have helped me profoundly as I've sought to nurture the soul within me: mindfulness, reflection, community. Mindfulness. Know the importance of where you are and what is transpiring. Be aware of what you see, hear, smell, and feel. And in particular, accept that moment and resist the temptation to try to change it. Wherever you go, there you are. Don't judge yourself any more than you judge anyone or anything else. In other words, no, I wonder if I ought to be at that other place doing that other thing. I'm behind on my deadline. I wonder if this friend or that coworker is angry with me. Give your mind a little fresh air by living in the moment. Reflection. I've chosen reflection as a catch-all term that might include a number of mental exercises such as meditation, prayer, or reflection itself. Mindfulness may be externalizing while reflecting is internalizing. Reflection is simply being more thoughtful on a higher plane than the superficial levels with which you expend most of your conscious thoughts. You need to reflect more on marriage, on parenting, on friendships, and even when there's no crisis going on in any of those areas. You need simply to be thankful and remind ourselves to have a good day. I've included some further steps and prompts for each of these 3 disciplines inside your guidebook. A wide variety of healthy practices for the well-being of the soul. Community. The soul is the very entity that makes you who you are. That is, separate from anyone else. No one else shares your soul, even if we're talking about your soulmate. But the truth is that for our souls to grow, we need one another. We are not independent, self-existent creations. We're mutually dependent in every way. And as iron sharpens iron, our souls develop and differentiate themselves as they rub up against one another. Soul development happens when you maintain and nurture close relationships. The kind, for example, in which others can hold you accountable and speak truth into your life, where you could share your deepest hopes and dreams, where you have serious discussions rather than superficial conversations. Such things couldn't happen at the neighborhood block party in most cases. They don't happen at the office water cooler or the gym locker room. You need a community of fellow souls sharing a common journey. So, where's yours? From here, I ask that you think carefully about the ideas shared. Try some of the practices I've recommended. Whether you call the essential spirit of who you are the soul or something else, there is an essential you, and it wants to breathe and grow and manifest itself in the world. That's just another way of saying you want to be all that you can be: mind, body, and soul.